Okay, welcome. We'll, apologies, but we'll call the committee to order, and the clerk's taking a silent roll. This afternoon, will not be long. We'll talk about another, we've had a lot of discussion, obviously, on various points within this bill. The big issue seems to be the handling of the personal income tax. We're going to hear from council on another option as well as a trigger. Open it up for any questions, and then we'll go from there. But council, would you quickly, and one thing, no copies for the committee right now. He will send those to the committee members electronically. Council.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is another variation of the 776 percentage decreases in personal income taxes. This would entail a 4-bracket system, and it would essentially have a hardwired reduction beginning January 1, 2018 of 7%, and then the subsequent 7% and 6% reductions would occur upon the existence of certain triggers, so to speak, or conditions. At the end of fiscal year 2018, the tax commissioner is to measure the cumulative collections of taxes imposed for personal income tax, for sales tax, and use tax. For the it's to measure the rolling average of those collections over the fiscal year 2018 and the 4 previous fiscal years, and then it will measure that against the, if you step back 1 year and then measure back and come forward with the rolling average of those 5 years, and then if the measurement if the first measurement against the second measurement demonstrates an increase in those collections of the sales and personal income tax and use tax, then the tax commissioner is to determine the amount of that increase in dollars, then determine the fiscal cost to the state of imposing the reductions in personal income tax, and if the fiscal cost to the state of the further reduction of the personal income taxes doesn't exceed the increase in collections, then the reduction takes place, the 7% reduction. And then thereafter, and when that occurs again, the 6% tax reduction will take place, and that's it. There is a corollary amendment that I'll also distribute to you when I distribute these, and that is an amendment that would reduce the sales tax from 6.50 to 6.25 in the event the 6% trigger here takes place.
Quick questions to council, and those will be coming to you. Fred, did you desire to quickly go over this handout and
Sure.
just briefly, and we can have additional questions if needed? Thank you.
This is something the chairman and I had been working from a little bit. This handout right here, we'd been working from, and thought it might be useful to be thinking about possible triggers, and I can relate it to the trigger language that Mr. McGowan just talked through. So if you follow down the column on the right, you see where it says combined 5-year rolling average growth. This combined, it's talking about the combined rate of growth for the personal income tax and the sales and use tax. Those taken together, the combined rate of growth over a 5-year period, the average rate of growth, and so that is 2.14% for FY16 you want to think about how this would work. And you would multiply that by the general revenue collections for 16, less transfers in from the rainy day fund. And then that would give you kind of an allowance, if you will, an allowance from which you would subtract what the tax commissioner derives as the cost of the cut that is on the table. So the tax commissioner is going to look at it just like he would for a fiscal note or whatever and say, this is the value of that. Take the difference, and if there's anticipated growth left over, the trigger would be pulled. If not, it would have to wait. If that makes sense.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Burns.
Thank you. I just want to point out one thing that I think threw us off a little bit the first time we looked at this. They also have on this a CPI 5-year rolling average. That's just for comparison purposes, correct? It's not,
Right.
it's not any part of the equation.
Right, and I think the chairman thought this would be useful to put before you because it may give you some other ideas about different approaches or whatever, and it's just something we've been using more generically.
I just want to clarify that since people are going to go home over the weekend and be thinking about it, just so that doesn't throw anybody off.
I tell you, the intent was to truly look at something that West Virginians produce and is about the West Virginia economy, and so that was the consumer sales tax and personal income tax, which make up 80% of our general revenue. The CPI is just for comparison, and the discussion we heard yesterday, that came from the Revenue Department and nowhere else. So if there, one thing, you know what, we've had a lot on our table this week in many ways, going in many different directions. Anyway, a lot going on, and I think now's a good time. Take what we have heard in front of us, take our little the spreadsheet that was giving out, I guess on our first day or yesterday. Look at that. Think of it over the weekend. Think of what we heard as it relates to personal income tax reductions and the triggers. There's many other components that we had in this bill or presented to us as it related to increasing the consumer sales tax, broadening the base, giving many citizens of West Virginia tax relief beyond the personal income tax, you know, the retirees and military people and whatnot. And let's come back Monday morning and decide where we go with this conference committee or this conference report as it relates to what's in front of us as a full tax relief or tax component that we'll use in this budget, and we'll make a decision Monday whether on our conference report so that we can move forward on our budget and go from there. Chairman, you have any other? Okay. Any other questions or comments? Yes. I'll just see. Did I get the right one? Yes, Senator Blair.
Thank you for the work you've done. The PFT, the breakdown on the 776, when will we get that? Before you leave today. Okay, that's what I want to know, because we need to, I couldn't keep up with writing it down as fast as what you were putting it through there on what's going on, and for comparison purposes, I need to make sure I have that. That's all.
Okay, and thank you for the question. And to make sure that all the committee members have the various information, work on that through the weekend, have discussions, and then we can come back Monday and have slept on it, prayed on it Sunday, and come to a good solution. So any other business for the committee? We will meet 9 a.m. here Monday morning. Yes, Chairman Ferns.
Move we adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. We are adjourned.